Alright, this week we only got to do one lesson, that was lesson 35 in class, and we didn't even get to finish the whole thing. So today we're going to do a couple from lesson 5, and then I'm going to do lesson 36. In lesson 36 there's only 3 problems, so it shouldn't be too bad. So let's look back at lesson 35. There's a couple problems, I'm not sure if I covered this, remember I was going in speed mode. So let's try 2 problems from lesson 35 to help clarify that. Remember, if you have a number raised to an exponent, that the bottom number is the index of the radical. Remember, if it's on the bottom, it sits on the seat. So let's simplify 32 to the square root to the power of 2/5. So that would be 32, and we can change it into a radical. The bottom number, the index, sits on the seat. So it's the 5th root of 32. The top number is the power that you raise the whole thing to. So it's going to be the 5th root of 32. We have this 2. It's going to go right here, squared. The 5th root of 32 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So 32 to the 2/5 power is simply 4. Let's look at this one. It has a negative exponent. We can't do anything, when we have a number, you can't raise it to a negative exponent. You have to make the exponent positive. So in this one, what we have to do is put it as 1 over 8 to the 2/3. And it makes the exponent positive. We still have this negative sign in front of the 8. You can put that anywhere. You can leave it at the top, you can put it in front of the fraction, or you can bring it at the bottom. I'm just going to leave it at the top. So let's simplify the bottom. Remember, it's the bottom number of the fraction sits on the seat. So let's draw our little seat, put our 3 on the seat, put the 8 under there. This is the power that the whole thing's raised to after you simplify the square root. And so we're going to get -1. The cube root of 8 is what times what times what gives us 8. And that's going to be 2. And then we still have to square it. So our final answer is -1 over 4. I did that pretty quickly again, but at least you can rewatch this video and make sure you understand it when you go to do those problems. Alright, let's start with lesson 36. Again, these are like kind of my favorite kind of problems because you get to cross out a bunch of stuff and it's always fun crossing things out. These are, we're going to multiply 2 polynomial fractions. So it looks kind of complicated, there's lots of x's and numbers and all kinds of stuff. We're going to multiply. When you're going to multiply these type of fractions, the first thing you have to do, you could multiply this times this, and this times this, and this times this, and then this times this, etc. But that's not going to give you a simplified answer. What you need to do these is to factor everything that you can factor. So what I like to do is, I just like to factor them right on top and right on the bottom. If you think that's too messy, you can recopy it and have it all factored in the next step. So I'm going to factor this trinomial. Remember, trinomials are factored into 2 binomials, if they're factorable. We say what times what gives us x squared, and that's x and x. What times what gives us -20, and when we subtract them, we get 1. So that would be 5 and 4. We want it to be a +1 right here, so this has to be positive, this is negative. So you always check them. Your first is x squared, your outer is -4x, your inner is 5x. -4x and 5x is just 1x. 5 times -4 is -20. Let's factor this one. Same idea. What times what gives you x squared? What times what gives me 2? And when I subtract them, we're going to get -1. So it's 2 and 1, and we need a -1. So we need the bigger number to be negative. So that our outer is 1x, our inner is -2x, and that just gives us -x. So these 2 are factored. We move on to this one. Factor again. You're going to get a lot of practice with factoring. These are very easy factoring problems. We haven't gotten to the difficult ones. Same idea. X times x is x squared. What times what gives me 16, and when we add them, we get 10.